I was, so for our renewal process, I was doing everything off of a spreadsheet. So I was tracking everything with spreadsheets, and we had like 700 properties, something like that. So it was time consuming. There was a lot of room for errors. Um, so it was not functional at all. It was terrible, actually. There were a lot of mistakes that would get made, things would get missed. Everything relied on memory. You had to remember, 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 remember. And there's too many properties to remember. So we needed the organization, we needed the procedures, we needed Apply very badly. The organization that Apple provided was just, I mean, it's outstanding what it's doing, how it's helping, how it's guiding the process as well. All the steps and all the automations we put in there, it just so much less hands-on work, but at the same time, it's better quality. So also it's great the way the boards are, you get a great visual effect. You can see things as a whole versus, all your little spreadsheets and moving from this screen to another. And it's much easier to see things as a whole, and watch the flow go. It's much better. And since we haven't really had any mistakes except for the normal learning mistake. Jessica worked with us so well in understanding just the small nuances of what we do and how we do it here and incorporating that into what she built for us. It was really amazing. I think she did a phenomenal job in not just understanding our needs, but matching our needs with what the system could do. Everybody had their own little corner they worked in, nothing integrated together. And then nobody was seeing the whole picture. What one person does here at the end of the day comes back around and affects somebody here. And we weren't seeing that before. It's like a perfect circle, the way everything's revolving around each other, not smooth, and it's working. But yeah, it caused a lot of time would be wasted, everybody researching, finding, looking, instead of just doing the work part. Um, so that is great. There's less of that happening now, and other team members can go in and they can see things more clearly. They don't have to rely on, oh my gosh, that's not here. How are we going to do this? How are we going to find this? Or, like we can actually find it now. It's not just everybody's own personal little procedures. It's now one that we can all work on. Just from what I can remember, the whole thing and how it all came down is you guys are very communicative. You answered questions cleanly without adding confusion. And that was a really big thing is, a lot of times you ask questions and you get this big answer and you're sitting there and you're like, wait, I don't think I understand the answer. It was just a very clean process. You guys had good reviews. I think upon the first meet and explanation of how things go, it was done well. You spoke well, you introduced the product well, you explained it well, and in a simplified way where we could understand. And that made it a lot easier. Communication's wonderful. I mean, we could message Jessica, email, however it worked, and she's on top of it. And what I liked about Jessica is when we did ask questions or needed clarification, she didn't just answer the question. She gave you enough information that you understood why the question was answered that way, which really helped in the building process because she didn't just explain what you can or couldn't do. She explained why. So as we were building, we were starting to understand how this AI works, and we could understand like, okay, I want to ask for this, but based on how she explained it last time, the system can't do that. But we do it like this, the system could probably do it. So that understanding she gave us actually helped us help her build the system. With us doing like for me, for the renewals, for when we're doing the renewals and stuff, what's really great is the recording. It's all the data that I come with it. What we were doing before was a lot of phone calls and individual emails, and now things are being tracked properly. I can open a card and I can find exactly where the landlord said, yes, I approve this. No, I don't approve that. There's less running around and looking and searching and finding, and I know exactly where to go and where to find it now. It's a cleaner process. There's less confusion. And another thing that's great is we're doing the same thing for one landlord that we're doing for all of them.
Mhm.
So we're not getting lost in, oh, what did you do with this one? And what did you do with that one? And how did we do this one? And how did we do that one? We're doing them all the same now. So it's just boom, 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 boom. Um, Getting all of our information together and cleaner, moving from Rentbind to Apply also helped clean a lot of our data as well. We were forced to go through a lot of bad data and it helped clean that up. It also helped us in organizing, as much as cleaning data, it helped organize our information better, like where we're putting it in Rentbind so that we can see it in our cards. There's some data we didn't think to record properly, and now we are recording it properly. So everything is just more accessible. It's easier to get to. It's a proper system. It's not just everyone's individual way of doing things. It's an actual working functioning system. I have some landlords that have multiple properties with us and they like the new way we're using Apply to communicate for lease renewals and things like that. And they like the whole drop down and plug in, where you can check a box and pick this and pick that instead of everything being manually written out. It's easier. They can click, 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 go, bum, done. Um, it's simpler. It's easier to use. It's not getting lost. Some of our things we were sending from Rentline would go to spam. These aren't going to spam because they're coming directly from my email. That is great. That's huge right there. So they're actually seeing the stuff we're sending them too, which is great. I have had some tenants, just a few of them that have liked the way the emails and everything are coming through again because it's not filtering it into their spam. They're actually seeing it in real time, not going back and looking for it. So it's so far so good. I mean, everything's been wonderful. Even a lot if you just look at something as simple as liability purposes, I think we have, I think with the systems we have in place, with doing everything the same way, having one platform, one direction, yes, I think it's going to eliminate a lot of mistakes that are made, misinformation. Oh, I thought this or I thought that. And there was just too much individualism going on. And now we've taken that away. And there were liability risks in individualism. You're treating one property differently from the other, this, that, and the other, communication, not getting communication in time. Um, just all of that. I think ultimately it's going to make everything, I think it's going to eliminate a lot of time we waste on always looking and searching for stuff. I mean, if you could take the crazy system we had and turn it into this organized, wonderful thing, I mean, holy moly, this is life changing. And I think a lot of property management companies have found themselves stuck in doing things the old way. They've grown quickly, but they haven't properly grown their procedures, their processes, and their systems. They just kind of band-aid as they grow. So I think for us, especially, we were one of those people. Something like this is game changing for us. I mean, we have insight, reports, and things into the business we didn't have before. So it's wonderful. So yeah, I would definitely, definitely suggest other companies trying this.